Tonight on Mythboxers,
G1 Blue Streak? Found at last?
more diecast. Is it always a good thing? Could this ancient recipe be the cure for gold plastic syndrome? Who are the Mythboxers? Perceptor Savage.
Am I missing an eyebrow?
And Jackie Wheelaman.
Jackie want big boom.
Between them, more than 8 million stellar cycles of mad science experience. Joining them, Sky Gary Byron, Grandis Imahara, and Horrible H.E. Hey, I was aiming for Perceptor and didn't miss. By volume, he's mostly a jet twin from the Puku down, and then he's got jazz arms, or rather, freeway jazz arms. Why freeway jazz? Black joints. Much easier than painting them, because you see, customs work is mostly about the carefully controlled release of laziness. His chest, cannon, and totally character model accurate backpack that is not at all kibble are all made from various sheets and tubes of styrene. The black skinny neck piece here is the black skinny thing off of Blur's elbows, and then his head is made from a dead marker, the very same dead marker that gave up its cap to be part of Highbrow's head, and I know you don't care. But it kind of amuses me when these figures become parts bros, like they're gonna start little gang wars on the shelf, like,
This shelf, the marker bot turf, fools.
Nuh-uh! Spoonformers for life!
Uh-oh, look out. Here comes that one particular Blitzwing gang.
How come you're in two gangs?
That other guy, that's my armada. He's such a disappointment.
Anyway, to make this rounded top, I just globbed a wad of epoxy sculpt on there and then shaved it down into that fetching dome shape. And then we cut the hole out for the face there in the tube, and inside there is a bent piece of styrene for the face layer, and then inside of that is yet another layer for the blue metallic chrome vinyl for the eyes. That just leaves these glasses, and I'll be honest, I don't really like these as a design detail. They obscure the face, and, I mean, he's a robot, right? What function could those serve that wouldn't be better off served internally? And they weren't fun to make. What you're looking at here is basically a tiny piece of translucent packing material tinted yellow and held in place with the world's tiniest, most precarious piece of double-sided adhesive. I can't use glue because it would discolor and you'd see it because they're translucent. I can't use a pin because you'd see it because it's translucent. So the best I could do is precarious double-sided adhesive. And I do mean precarious. In the course of making these videos and taking these photos, I've knocked it loose a number of times and actually knocked the original ones completely off. This is the second set. The original set is stuck precariously to the noses of angels right now. Not coming back. And because it's translucent, you really can't even see it unless it happens to catch the light just right, like it's doing now. Oh yeah, there we go. It's all worth it now. So yeah, I don't like the glasses. But the big bucket head and the slender neck does mean that he does have a pretty good range of head wiggle articulation. So I'm afraid I did miss out on the shoulder guards from the animation model. There's a couple of reasons for that. First off, I couldn't really see how he could have the shoulder guards and the head and cannon all kind of occupying the same space and not bumping into each other. And second,
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
I'm not going to add kibble just for the sake of kibble. But speaking of kibble, these silver knobs are all made from the bottoms of tubes of lip balm with a little bit of chrome vinyl on there to gussy them up. And this the slider tube in there is made out of a plastic tube from the inside of a roll of dog poo bags, just in case you were wondering if there was a more embarrassing material to be made out of than a disposable spoon.
Nobody disses spoonformers and lives. Don't make me cut you.
Cyclonist, no! That is not our way! That's something a knife former would do!
Oh yeah, well, don't make me lift you gently out of a bowl.
I had to tweak the torso quite a bit, filing down the front and back and filling in some of these parts on the side where the jet twin combination mechanics were, which does, alas, mean that he cannot combine with Yokotron to form some sort of ninja scientist, although now that I've said that, I know what my next custom's going to be. I also filled in the front of the leg slit with a bit of styrene, cut off the wings on the inside of the leg, and rather than build another cover to obscure the ankle fist, I just cut the thumb clean off. So I guess whatever gang sign these two come up with for the Jet Twin leg crew better not involve thumbs. Wheeljack is made from animated Roddy 2 Hottie, or whatever his official name was, and I've just made him a new Wheeljack-esque head and chest and wings and bits. And I gotta tell you, there's something kind of weird about working on a Wheeljack. Like, it's all well and good painting Starscream blue or gluing bat wings on a blur, but this is Wheeljack, you know? Gotta get this right. And before anybody says anything about the white gap at the front of his windscreen there, that's animated character model accurate. And also I needed it to conceal the gap between these two halves because this windscreen was too large to make out of a spoon.
What was that about spoons?
He's also got this head, which contains trace elements of Jetfire's head, but is largely epoxy sculpt and styrene. Not sure how I feel about the blue ears. They're character model accurate. But in G1, Wheeljack's ears only lit up when he was speaking, so this looks a bit like he's crashed mid-sentence.
We really need your help. Why won't you give us a hand?
Or is just endlessly screaming. Wings are new, but they're not really anything special. They're just flat pieces of styrene hinged off the original Rodimus-style spoiler. Also made these forearm boofers, which spin around to form intakes for his alt mode. And I know the legs are a bit skinny, but that's just the price of admission for using the mold, I'm afraid. The only other way to get a windscreen chest guy going in animated is to use Bumblebee, and I'm not doing that for a fourth time. So you might be wondering how this guy with no visible truck parts turns into a truck, because I was wondering that while looking at his character sheet. And the answer in this case is he doesn't. He turns into a microscope, like some sort of perceptor or something. I never really got the truck thing. I mean, I've done everything in my power to expand my animated collection, and it's still about 30% truck. And I applaud the efforts to get mass shifting out of the fiction, but there's no reason he couldn't just turn into a large piece of science tech that happens to look like a microscope, like some sort of large hadron analysis relay station. Look, I don't know. You want fan fiction, you're on the wrong channel. He's just a robot-sized piece of lab equipment, and then Wheeljack can come in and put his face on his tube and play with his knobs. And look, you want that kind of fan fiction, you're definitely on the wrong channel. Wheeljack, when not playing with knobs, turns into a car. I think it does a pretty good job evoking the model sheet alt mode, although, to be honest, that's mostly coincidence. If you arrange Wheeljack's body parts into a car-like arrangement, this is pretty much what you're going to get. You can see here that the chest has hinged up to cover the Roddy chest area, and I like how it's got a bit of a Zonda vibe, which is a polite way of saying that I had to put the windscreen way up the front to make room for the transformation mechanism. And I like how it's got a little bit of aftermarket mods going on here, although that's just a polite way of saying that the forearms and the pouches don't really fill in those gaps all that well. Okay, so let's say you've got a microscope you want to make into a man. Fairly simple process. In fact, you can probably guess what the limbs do just based on the photos. So as I do them, rather than describe them, I'm just going to sing a jaunty tune to myself. They see me scoping, they hating, and making me a truck 'cause I'm too teal and nerdy. Look at me, I'm teal and nerdy. Holy cow, I'm teal and nerdy. How'd I get so teal and nerdy? Got no shelf appeal, I'm nerdy. Yet I get shipped with everyone. DeviantArt loves me 'cause I'm teal and nerdy. Holy cow, I'm teal and nerdy. Every day I'm feeling nerdy. No joke for real, I'm nerdy. Obamacare repeal, I'm nerdy. Right. Done. The way this works, this piece slides up and over, and then this piece compacts. It slides up and over to the side, and then you open up this little door. And there's his face. So that comes down the back. The top bit, the skinny bit, folds inside. Close the door back up. Seat that in there. And then you just wiggle the tray down. And you're done. Okay, so if you have an animated Wheeljack and you want to turn him into a dude, this is basically how it happens. I start with the only new piece, which is this chest, and this is just on a double hinge. Pulls up, and down onto the chest like that. There's his face. And the rest of this is pretty much just the same as Rodimus, only with way more excruciating caution to not scrape paint off. So that's untabbed. Bring the legs down. Pull the shoulders out. Flip the chest around. You may notice the face does not have the ears. They had to pivot to the back on a little hinge because full ear Wheeljack was too much for the hole. They won't fit through. So, oops, I forgot to fold the wheels down. The only other new step is the hand's getting stuck for no apparent reason. And then just spin that around. Oh, there is one more new step. These things hinge slightly. Hooray.
And now Wheeljack is done.
And speaking of done, I think I might be done, guys. I mean, there's really only one other bot I wanted to make, and it's not going to be all that interesting, or based on the way it's going so far, even very good. So I guess what I'm saying is, what else might you like to see in this space? More third-party reviews, Q&A, collection vids, hardcore Wheeljack Perceptor / stop motions, nothing? If you have an opinion, I guess, send me a PM, and if you don't, well, thanks for the views and the subs, and it's been fun. Thanks for being a part of it.